Let's start with our first news. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. This past weekend, Israel Adesanya was urged to retire from the UFC. A lot of people in the MMA community have been debating whether or not Izzy should hang up the gloves following his loss to Joe Pyre. As you likely know, Adesanya was stopped in the second round on Saturday. Although he had some moments early in the bout, this marked his fourth straight loss, and calls for the 36-year-old to retire started making the rounds. One of the voices encouraging Adesanya to retire is none other than Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame that same night. Recently, Mighty Mouse appeared on the Ariel Helwani show. When asked about Adesanya's latest loss and whether he thinks he should retire, Johnson said, "I would if I was him. I would. I mean, why do you fight? First off, why do I fight? For the money, okay? 2, there's a part of you where it's like, okay, I like the chess aspect. Like, okay, he's gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. The lifestyle, right? It's good. But if you have the money, you've got to find something else to keep your mind engaged and always learning and thinking. You can keep on training. You can travel and learn something new. Then there's the health aspect as well. He's got a broken nose. For me, I would like to see him retire. There's nothing else for him to do in mixed martial arts. I think he's done everything. DJ certainly isn't the only one raising these points. What does Adesanya have left to accomplish now, given that he's already established himself as one of the greatest middleweights of all time? Despite the calls, Adesanya has said he plans to fight again, so it will be interesting to see when and who it will be against. While talking to Helwani about his Hall of Fame induction, Mighty Mouse revealed that he ran into Hunter Campbell at the event and thanked him for letting him fight in one championship, where he made good money. Campbell apparently said he was happy for Mighty Mouse. One interesting note was that Johnson didn't see Dana White on Saturday, which is unusual, as you would expect Dana to congratulate him. Most likely, Dana was just busy. In other news, Arman versus Uriah Faber has been booked for RAF 8, with Arman coming off a strong performance last weekend. Move on to another news. Michael Morales and Ian Gary could end up fighting in the octagon, and if that happens, it sounds like there will be no love lost. Both Morales and Gary have been calling for a showdown with the champion Islam Makhachev, so the chances of them clashing at some point seem relatively high. Both men are ranked in the top 3 of the division, and with Gary only 28 and Morales 26 years old, a matchup between them would be highly anticipated. Recently, Morales was in Spain and spoke with Keo Monero. When Ian Gary's name came up, Morales made it clear that he is not a fan. According to translations from Freak MMA, Morales said, "I do hate him. I don't have a very good feeling about him. Yeah, I do like him a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's a fighter too, and I'm not going to get overconfident. I also have to prepare myself if I want to fight him. The fight would be very intense if it happens, but I'd like to face him. A long time ago at the PI in Las Vegas, we had a run-in, but since there was no camera, there was nothing to prove. I know what he did. We'll wait for the fight to happen. I've said with him, it's always a completely different fight. If I were to fight him, it would be the first time I would do it in a very aggressive way." That is certainly fascinating to hear from Morales, and it sets the stage for a potential matchup full of intensity and rivalry. His comments show that while he respects Gary as a fighter, there is a clear grudge and a strong desire to prove himself if they ever step into the cage together. All that aside, while Morales was in Spain, he also ran into Ilia Topuria, and a photo of their meeting surfaced, showing a more lighthearted moment away from the tension surrounding Gary. This highlights that Morales is keeping busy internationally, training, and connecting with other fighters, while still keeping his eyes on potential matchups and opportunities in the division. Morales' comments about Gary set the tone for a fight that could be very different from any other contest in the division, with aggression, strategy, and personal rivalry driving the intensity. Fans will have to watch closely as the division continues to heat up, with both Morales and Gary rising through the ranks and positioning themselves for big fights in the near future. Move on to another news. Nate Diaz goes off on Daniel Cormier after some comments regarding his upcoming fight with Mike Perry and the Netflix card it'll be on. Cormier had acknowledged that he was excited to see the fight, but also claimed that neither man is one of the sport's top welterweights. He even argued that the UFC's White House event on June 14th is a better card. Diaz didn't hold back when he appeared on Theo Von's podcast, lighting up DC over those remarks and others he's apparently made about him. Diaz fired back, saying, "If that's what you do, you're asked, what happened in your career then? Why are you an analyst now? Mr. Know-It-All talking negative about what I should have done when I made more money than you ever made in your whole career at any fight, Mr. Champion." Those are the kind of comments that annoy the hell out of me. This dude's boring. I've never seen a single DC fight in my career, except for when I was on the same card as him one time, and he was picking up the dude and walking around like he just owned him, like he was hella tight. And then I looked back at the screen and he was knocked out. That's the only DC fight I ever saw. He continued, and he went to talk about what I should do and how I'm not a good fighter. I'm like, are you mad because you were the champion? And when I was nowhere near champion, I got paid way more than you. That's a bitter little who's analyzing fights. You're a great wrestler, DC, but you can't fight. You're big old. Remember, he cried. Hey, he always got in, and his record sucks. Like you cried. Diaz's anger may also be tied to earlier comments from Ben Asen, who trashed Diaz as a fighter and claimed he somehow convinced people he's good at fighting. At the time, DC argued that Diaz was a top fighter during his prime. Nate Diaz's remarks show he's clearly not holding back against anyone who questions his skill or career achievements. He made it clear that his earnings, experience, and fighting style speak for themselves, and he isn't afraid to call out even former champions like DC. Fans can expect the tension between Diaz and Cormier to remain a hot topic as Diaz prepares for his next fight, and his words underline his confidence and willingness to push back against criticism in the MMA world. Move on to another news. Chael Sonnen thinks Khamzat Chimaev can't finish Sean Strickland and said it would actually surprise him if he did. Sonnen believes that Strickland is built for long, drawn-out matches and does his best work when he's the underdog. Speaking about the upcoming matchup, Sonnen said, "Would you be surprised if Khamzat beat Strawn in 2 minutes? Yes. If he got him out of there quickly, that would surprise me. If he finished him at all, it would surprise me. Strickland is made for long-distance, hard matches." He continued, "Yeah, I totally agree, and I've seen many times that Strickland does his best work when he's counted out. He doesn't get counted out often, but when he's in that situation, he thrives. I mean, he was a 6-1 underdog against Izzy, and he proved everyone wrong. Now he's only a 4-1 underdog here. He won all 5 rounds against Izzy, and there's something about relieving the pressure and expectation that really brings out the best in Sean." Sonnen emphasized Strickland's ability to rise under adversity, saying, "I don't know exactly how that fight's going to go, but I do know this. Sean is the guy for sure. If he's not the best fighter in the world, he's definitely the second best. He has this rare combination of skill, toughness, and composure that makes him so hard to finish and so dangerous in every round. Khamzat is extremely talented, but Strickland is exactly the kind of fighter who can handle pressure and outlast even the most aggressive opponents." Sonnen's analysis underlines the unique challenge that Strickland presents to Khamzat Chimaev. He pointed out that Khamzat's usual quick finishes might not work against a fighter who thrives in long, grinding battles and who seems to elevate his performance when doubted. It's a battle of style versus style, and Sonnen made it clear that he expects Strickland to endure, adapt, and potentially dominate as the rounds go on. According to Sonnen, the key to this fight is Strickland's ability to stay calm under pressure, maintain his game plan, and capitalize on Khamzat's impatience. While Chimaev is a formidable striker and grappler, Strickland's experience, resilience, and mental toughness give him a serious edge in the longer exchanges. Sonnen's prediction makes it clear that fans should expect a tough, competitive fight that may go the distance, showcasing Strickland's elite-level durability and skill in the octagon. Move on to another news. Dana White has removed multiple UFC fighters, continuing a trend that has been picking up ever since the Paramount deal. The UFC has been dropping fighters left and right, which could be seen as both a good and a bad thing for the sport. This time, the cuts focused on a group of Brazilian fighters, and last night, GM Cruz from MMA Fighting reported that Antonio Trocoli, Bruna Brazil, and Luana Carolina have been removed from the UFC roster. Starting with Trocoli, this is a weird case. He earned his UFC contract through Dana White's Contender Series back in 2019, but he later tested positive, and his win was overturned. Even so, he remained in the UFC, but he ended up going 0-4 in the promotion, with his most recent fight being against Montaj Kavicius just 2 weeks ago. Despite his initial promise, Trocoli couldn't find consistent success in the octagon, which likely led to his release. Moving on to Bruna Brazil, she also came into the UFC through Dana White's Contender Series and finished her UFC run with a 3-5 record. Her most recent fight was this past weekend, where she lost by unanimous decision to Alexa Tanara. Although she showed flashes of skill, she couldn't secure enough wins to solidify her place on the roster, resulting in her cut from the UFC. Finally, Luana Carolina has also been removed from the UFC roster. This name may sound very familiar to fans because she previously made headlines for missing weight by 8 pounds, which forced her fight with Melissa Mullins to be canceled. An 8 lb weight miss is completely unacceptable in the UFC, and her release comes as no surprise. Carolina ended her UFC career with a 6-4 record and, like the others, was also a product of Dana White's Contender Series. Her release underscores the importance of professionalism and consistency in the promotion. With these cuts, the UFC has now released 3 Brazilian fighters who came through the Contender Series, signaling that the promotion is willing to make bold moves to maintain a competitive and disciplined roster. While each fighter showed potential, their overall performance, missed opportunities, and in Carolina's case, weight management issues led to their removal from the UFC. This move highlights how the UFC continues to shape its roster, keeping only those fighters who consistently perform at the highest level and adhere to the organization's standards. Move on to another news. New UFC fights have been announced, and while it's April Fool's Day, none of these are fake announcements. Arman recently posted on social media with a joke about a fight poster with Top Uria, but this video is strictly real UFC news. First up, Leo Walker-Gimish revealed on X that flyweight contenders O Alamabe and Charles Johnson will battle at the UFC card in Imbaku, Azerbaijan on June 27th. Charles Johnson is coming off a split decision victory over Bruno Silva just a couple weeks ago, which followed a stoppage loss to Alex Perez in January. Impressively, this will already be his 3rd fight of 2026. U Alamabe hasn't fought since last November when he submitted Alex Perez. Johnson reacted to the matchup on X, writing, "Another step forward, another opportunity to ascend." Next, Marcel Dorff reported that Ariki Lang and Cody Hayden will clash on the UFC's May 30th card in Macau, China. Ariki Lang last competed in October, quickly putting away Cody Gibson with strikes, but had previously lost by unanimous decision to Rahul Rosa-Jair in September 2024. Hayden hasn't fought since October 2024, when he defeated Dan Argua by unanimous decision. That fight marked his UFC debut after signing from Dana White's Contender Series with a win in August. Dorff also reported that strawweights CM Ming and Puja Tomer will fight at a Road to UFC card on May 2nd in Macau. Shi Ming is looking to get back on track after losing by unanimous decision to Bruna Brazil in August 2025, going 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Puja Tomer is also aiming to return to the win column after being submitted by Shauna Bannon at a Fight Night card back in March 2025. Like Ming, Tomer has gone 4-1 in her last 5 fights, making this a highly competitive matchup. These announcements show the UFC continues to build exciting cards internationally, with fighters looking to climb the rankings and rebound from setbacks. With multiple events coming up in Asia and Europe, the promotion is keeping the action constant and giving fans fresh, compelling matchups. Fights like Johnson versus Alamabe, Lang versus Hayden, and Ming versus Tomer highlight both rising talent and veterans trying to prove themselves, ensuring there's plenty of excitement for fans around the world. Move on to another news. A UFC fighter has been suspended for 1 year for using PEDs. Combat Sports Anti-Doping released a statement revealing that UFC's flyweight fighter Elibi Adidas tested positive for a diuretic, which is commonly used to manage water retention during a weight cut. The statement read, Adidas tested positive for the presence of hydrochloroxiazide, a prohibited at all times diuretic in the diuretics and masking agents class of the UFC prohibited list. Although Adidas has been fully cooperative with CSAD, the agency emphasized that they will not reduce or suspend any portion of his ineligibility due to the seriousness of knowingly using a diuretic during fight week and the advantage it provided in making his contracted weight. His suspension is set to run until February 21st, 2027, marking a full year away from competition and a major setback for his career. Since the news of the positive test broke, Nolan King from MMA Junkie reported that Texas officials have also overturned Adias's decision win over Osborne to a no contest. This means that the victory previously recorded on his record has been nullified, further impacting his professional standing and highlighting the serious consequences of violating anti-doping rules in the UFC. This suspension serves as a clear warning to fighters about the strict regulations surrounding performance-enhancing drugs and masking agents in mixed martial arts. The UFC and CSAD continue to enforce these rules to ensure a level playing field, emphasizing that even cooperative behavior does not excuse the use of prohibited substances, particularly during critical periods such as fight week. Adias' case is a reminder of the high stakes involved in professional MMA, where fighters' reputations, records, and future opportunities can be drastically affected by violations of the anti-doping policy. The overturning of his win and the one-year suspension underscore the UFC's commitment to fairness and athlete safety, as well as the importance of maintaining integrity in the sport. Fans and fighters alike are reminded that PEDs carry severe consequences, both professionally and personally, and the UFC's zero-tolerance approach will continue to be enforced to protect the integrity of the competition.